Okay, guys, we squeaked in right before. I think that we're 1 minute to give you 20 minutes. So I think that that's going to work out just fine. Let me bring a chart up here. Give me just a couple moments to settle in. Be patient. Let's go ahead and verify that we're live. Let's welcome the chat. Bill. Okay, let's see here. And then the next thing is let's get out some Twitter and share. Do Twitter. Change this up this week. I'm not crazy on this whole like via YouTube. Okay. All right, there's just not enough in that tweet. That's the problem. So I'm not ready to tweet out yet because I don't have enough tabs open. Okay, let's check our Twitter. It's the first thing, one of the first things that we do. And we checked the Twitter enough so to see if there was any overnight news. I'm not going to be opening up the money.net. But we know that last night we did get some China housing news. And let's see, Deutsche Bank. Let's see. Give me just a moment. I'll be on mute for just a second. Okay, guys. All right. In domestic news, it looks like there were 5 people that were apprehended or officially arrested. I don't know if they were charged. There's one person that's on the run, so that would be on the domestic side. That would be of interest. Looks like Clinton she addressed the press on the explosion. Let's see what else I can give you. Right, so let's go. Of course, a lot of people did quite a few unboxings of the Apple products. So let's just look at some of our names. JP Morgan saying don't get excited about the sales. You're coming down to that Apple iOS 10 is all about fun messaging and photos. The operating system has strengths with photos and maps and Siri. The largest open interest increases among single stocks are Apple. These are for the options. Apple, PG, BAC, AA, and Cody. These are names that are often lumped together there. And people weighing in on the AirPods. And because it's Monday, you get a lot of people that will write tweets saying that, they've written what are called relevant articles. Okay, so not a whole lot in Twitter this morning. And we'll see who's going to be ringing in on the Cheddar side. Make sure that we put them on, so they're not live yet. A little late. So I want to make sure that the moment that they go live, that we bring their volume down. All right. Next up, let's grab our tickers, and we are looking to add 2 tickers. So that's what I was hoping, that by catching things a little early that we could find 2 names. I mean, there were a couple pharma names that came through last night in that one article that's over in the discussion box. I'm hesitant to put pharma in the basket, but if we wanted to, we could certainly grab one of the names and look at them. can go over to my channel, Fire Talk, because we put the so we're looking at Apple, Starbucks, Disca, Twitter, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Whirlpool, SMG, DHI, and Panera. And remember, we actually were able to cull these down to be Apple, Starbucks, Disca, Twitter, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, and DR Horton. So we do have some empty spots for the basket. I'll put this over at our chat on the Isn't that crazy? Cheddar, just by having the site up, just by having the URL in the bar, the fan goes off. So let's go over to our discussion area on the YouTube. And so I'm getting a little bit more comfortable going back and forth with the windows. Just keep the tabs to a minimum. Okay, so we were reading an older article that had come over the weekend from On the Fly, top 5 weekend stocks. It's in our discussion area. And of course, it was looking at the CBS Netflix. Now, we don't have Netflix. I think it might be an interesting watch. Also, here are the, we could look at Lionsgate or TWX even for the Sully. I think TWX might be kind of interesting. And then let's pick one of the drug names. We can add them and see which is the best to breed. So, and we'll go between NFS and Amgen, I suppose. So let's get Amgen up. The $129.89 billion market cap, they satisfy that. Their price at $172.96. They were satisfied on that front. Number of employees, average volume. Let's see. On the news front, not very, you have to go into money.net for the better news. Last time an analyst reported and put it on FinViz was August 26th. So August 19th at 8:25 this morning, RBC says these 4 top biotechs could have upside potential. That's from 24/7 Wall Street. At 7:34 this morning, Amgen Inc. conference called to discuss the results of a postmenopausal osteoporosis study and the results. And then, of course, on the 18th, there were more information about Amgen's work on this osteoporosis drug. So Amgen, AMGN. So let's put Amgen in the basket. They fit on all sides. And let's get over to our discussion group. Let's say that that's what we're doing. And we have 6 minutes until we open. Amgen, AM. Okay, so the last one that we had called it down to these. So let's go ahead and get Amgen in there. Cheddar's still off the air at 9:26 too. They have 4 minutes to demonstrate both exchanges, share their roster, their show notes for the day. They are late unless they're having technical difficulties. And we're adding Amgen and TWX. All right, so let's power up our charts. The moment that I do that, I will be showcasing on, so we'll watch Apple open. And the 1 minute, it's the closest that we can get without worrying about not giving you real time. Go over to the Hangout so we can get our screen share going. Go over to Apple, and we're going to share and make it the primary window, and there we go. Okay, you're looking at Apple and pre-market with 2 minutes to go. Clean this up a little bit here. Move this down a little bit here. Here's the 30-minute chart here so we can see a little bit better. Putting on the 15 minutes so we can see. Actually, let's see if I can make it a 5 minute. You can still, yeah, it's a better chart right there. 5 minute. Remember, we had talked about last week this little funny candle that could have been the beginning of some more lower prints, right? And so that's holding up pretty well. There's no other candle that can, it's another bearish candle there. So that adds on, but of course we had our double bottom here with no threat to the gap fill, a little bit of threat right here. This would have been on Friday. So let's see, and with 1 minute, and I wish I could bring you a bell, but Cheddar is not live. Waiting for the event to go live at 9:30. So I don't know where they're at. Let's see if they've given some sort of a report. I know that they had done something in Periscope, or they plan on doing Periscope Live. There we go. All right, so because they're playing music, I can't play the music. So they're live from the New York Stock Exchange. Workshop and Business Opportunities, the 50 WIBO, W-I-B-O. 50 WIBO. So they're ringing in the bell. Apple gapping up just gently, up 0.36% in the open, 0.43 in the open, and 0.4947 in the open. Half a point, 0.53, all those unboxings, 0.64, 0.66, cheddar went down again. Go ahead and check back the cheddar later, 0.66 for Apple's open. And because they're on Periscope, we'll go ahead and share their Periscope feed. Put my earbuds in too. Earbuds in. Nice open for Apple. Now we're beyond, I believe the high of that bar was 116.11. 116.12 or 7. Should see a little bit of struggle on that price. 116.16. Let's see how our Amgen opened. Amgen up 0.02. It looks like the market wants a little bit more information. These are real-time numbers. I hope you guys can see this on the, yeah, you're doing fine. You can see it's all in high def too. All right, let's take a look at our SPUX and how it opened today. For Starbucks, right? And it's very odd, these odd lows, but up 0.07 on the Google front with the Google gap. So there must be maybe some things going on with Google. So the gap open took it up 0.41%. It's 772.04. Now I believe Google can get very gappy. So as you can see, right, here's a gap fill that we're waiting for. This is going to end up being another gap fill that people will wait for. So we'll go ahead and put our choppy lines in, our clunks, and work on more annotations this week. But this is another gap fill for Google. 0.37%. And that. All right, so I'll check on Facebook. Another gap. Another gap on Facebook, 0.47%. So that whether we believe that once price went over this apex right here, that you have not only the strength of the pattern, but the strength of the cross and strength of the market moving to the upside on these names. Okay. All right, so we'll get the apex in there sometime today. We'll do that. I'll stay with you guys until the reversal. I can get my fan to be okay with that? Get off of both of the feeds. Headline reads, Lyft says self-driving cars will rule the day by 2022. And let me get my earbuds in so I can take a listen. Pretty sure that we'll get live. Yeah, we're good. It is picking up me poking around between things. So that's why I can't stay too long on that. Oh, actually, look at that. Okay, so let's go to the basket. I'm going to put that in the chat over there. Twitter. So next one up. See, Twitter gave us on the open. Oh my goodness. Deep plunge on Twitter, down 1.99% on the open. There's a lot of very bearish stories, once again, on the NFL numbers. Clearly, Twitter is filling the gap now. You can see here's a gap fill. The gap was broken. Now there's a couple things that can happen here. This can end up being the left shoulder. I mean, this is an atom. It may end up becoming an atom left, actually. So this can become very deep. And then at one of these EMAs, it could be the 96 even, it will survive the 96, and then it can bounce off of the 96. So keep an eye on the 96 today and how that responds. I put a nice arrow there to the 96. We'll see what happens there. We're going to know in due time. If not, then we're looking for a full gap fill down to the ruby cross, and then things might just keep modulating like they were before, come back down to this range right here where Twitter seems to be most comfortable, is the 827 area, 830 area right in here. Then it will lose another 50 cents and just come inside right down in here. I'm putting an arrow there to see. That's what happens. It's one concept. Is that Twitter really prefers to be priced right here. Okay, Microsoft, MSFT. And if I was to stay with you guys until the reversal, I would only have another 9 minutes. Here's Microsoft. Pound move to the upside, 0.58 for the open, very strong open. Microsoft is no stranger to these power moves, and yet price just lollygag. So it's whether it's the strength in the name, it's, you know, people just like being in the name. I'm not really certain exactly now, but I've known Microsoft at this price forever and a day, and these little power moves that they give us, very common, but I would have preferred that we had a retrace to the 96, and that would have said to me, you'll notice that the 96 on each one of these moves got broken. And then, of course, it's only at the open that it would go through the 96. I'm looking for a little bit more stability. Looks like the 51 is an area that Microsoft enjoys staying at. That's typical. So if there was a reversal to be had today, I wouldn't doubt that it goes into this area here. We'll put a nice bar there to see if that is what is meant to be. The 51, which is right here. It's right there. And I'll put these prices right in here. Okay, next, with 10 more minutes with you guys, DHI. See how they opened up today. Now Horton. Okay, lovely gap, 1.7. And we've got quite a lot of drawings on Horton. And we're still in this range. We did not decide to move the range around. Here's the 96 barreling down. 51 is keeping price organized below the 618 fib, which is now the 51. So if at the reversal, maybe if it isn't going to be a true reversal, which is just come back into the gap and start to float around the bottom part of the range. With the 51 here, there's always a good opportunity for the trade to get hoovered or vacuumed up to the 51. All depends on how strong the baseline is. Of the range. Just depends on, could that support the trade actually higher up? And then the 51 just takes the trade up. Cheddar is the official media sponsor of TAP Conference hosted by Button. We knew that last week. We did a little cheat sheet story on it over at Twitter. We want to be reminded of that because they're reminding us of it again. That's Cheddar's the official media sponsor of TAP, T-A-P Conference, hosted by Button. Like that story, the Button story. These are the auto buy, the sync buy buttons. Okay, we'll get back to the chart in just a second. It'll just take a second of time to do that. Remember, that is all from Twitter. And the link is in the discussion box. You will be able to watch that Periscope replay. And they should keep it live for quite a bit of time. And it might be on their site. They could end up storing it on their site. It could end up being put on YouTube or Vimeo. I know they have a little library, a stock library of their advertisements and such over at Vimeo. Okay, let's go back to Apple. See how they're holding it. And remember the bearish candle here that I gave you guys, the 116.11. Our high ended up being 116.17, so 11 cents. So it's still a higher high on Apple from that prior candle that really was a suspicious candle to me that we were going to be getting some lower prints. We did get lower prints on the candle. I'm waiting for the follow through now. So we're 6 cents off of that call, of course, with the push up high at 0.3%. It's like the reversal's taking away some of that. And let's go to the SPY. I'll bring you guys the right trading view one, because I don't want one that's daily. And I believe, let's see if I can do this. We can go with the spider, I guess. It's the 1 day, 5 minute. Okay, there we go. So here's the drop down, right? The close gap down on the 15th. And now we're going through gap fill, but it's still very bearish. It's the spider. See how the dollar is doing, the BXY? And we want the other DXY, or the one that you guys are going to be able to see. And I don't know if it's going to be CFD. Maybe we only get daily on this one too. No, we can do it there too. Okay, so the dollar coming down 0.31% off of its highs here. And here's the 51 line. We put it out, looking at a 5 minute. Dollar is kind of silly, but you can see there's the cross long. And so the cross long will go ahead and do a Fibonacci to see what kind of threat the longs are enduring right now, because tomorrow we have some bigger news coming in. We'll take the high from here. And what I do just for architecture is I do go to the Ruby Cross here and see we're suffering right now. We go beyond the 50% line. And of course we break the 51. So we can only come down this pattern exactly will just start to stack. It'll flag, fall, flag, and fall. Just like that. All right, so the DXY, at least on the index I'm looking at, the dollar is weak at 95.75, but on a strengthening to the upside. Got a Ruby Cross on the 16th with 3 minutes to go before the reversal. Get back to Apple. And get us in a little tighter on Apple so that we can see the reversal come in. And I hope you guys can see all that. And then move this over a little bit more. There we go. So you should be able to see all that. Okay, so remember we have Apple, Starbucks, Disca, Twitter, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, DR Horton. We added Amgen and TWX. AMGN and TWX were added. And I'll make certain that I get these tickers over to FinViz and the basket to you guys. And Apple, okay, I'll grab that. Let's see, grab that. Okay. Go ahead and stop sharing with you guys for a moment. So I can bring that over to FinViz. And come here. Go there. Bring all that. There. And that should be everybody. 4-day winning streak on Apple, by the way, you guys. Be cautious about that. Starbucks. Let's take a look at Starbucks growth. Growth is being questioned at Starbucks. Disca. Discovery wants to be on one of the feel-good companies. It's expanding paid leave. Twitter goes nuts on the NYC mobile alert. Okay, Facebook. Let's see very much stuff there. On the Facebook news front, not just like this moment anyway. Microsoft news front. Forbes did a feel-good story. Tech stocks like Apple and 4 others keep the Dow in green. On the Google front, for whatever reason, the storyline from Kiplinger is what's the better value, Amazon.com or Alphabet? Kiplinger newsletter, Amazon is beating Alphabet when it comes to stock performance at 14.1. The same story plays out over 1 year, 3-year, 5 and 10 year. Amazon outperforming Google. Why Google wins. Stock valuation case. All right, so we're going to put this in because not this week, but next week we'll be going into more fundamental. So I'll put this over in the discovery. And I have gone beyond my time, by the way. So the 950 reversal is in play right now. And I'm going to say thank you very much. In the replay world, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and look for me on Twitter at BeautyBubble. Okay, so this has been Beauty Bubble Now before the bell. Thank you very much. You can find all sorts of information about the basket of names that we're covering. This week, we did add Amgen and TWX. So our Twitter, we have Twitter, Apple, Starbucks, Disca, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, DR Horton, as I said, Amgen and TWX. And in 7 minutes, we will be owning a weighted number of shares when at the 10 o'clock candle. But we'll more into that later too, and how it is that we've decided to do that, and what the results are and how to find the results. Okay, all right, that's it for me. Looking for more interesting things to happen tomorrow. I think people are probably settling in a little bit because of, you know, some of the things that happened over the weekend. And I'll certainly keep an eye on Cheddar this morning and be more than likely observing what they're doing over at the firetalk.com. Look for me over there too, firetalk.com. Beauty Bubble Now is the channel over there. So that's it for me. And we will talk to you at the midday market.